Both for loop and the while may be similar, but the writing of the programming is different in the Python languages. At first, let us learn the while loop statement syntaxes and we can go functions, that is string modules in the Python. Once you get the string functions, we can calculate and we can do all the programmings regarding the strings also. So let me explain looping statements. Of course, looping statements here we are going to have the for loop and the while loop, but there are many syntaxes to create a while or for loop. We discuss all the things, that is the basic foundation, how can we get the looping statements in the Python. After that, we can write the programming very easily, right? Good morning students, welcome back to our channel Subhashini the Tech Guy. Today we are discussing the another class of Python. Okay, so the class about today is regarding the looping statements. Of course, looping statements here we are going to have the for loop and the while loop, but there are many syntaxes to create a while or for loop. We discuss all the things, that is the basic foundation, how can we get the looping statements in the Python. After that, we can write the programming very easily, right? Now here the concept is writing the looping statement differs many syntaxes. That's why first learn the syntaxes, then you can write the Python programming using looping very easily. Okay, now without any delay, let us start the class.
So let us start the looping structures in Python. At first, we will discuss about the while loop. Okay, later on, we discuss about the for loop and many syntaxes regarding while loop and the for loop. So let us know the syntax of the while loop at first. So the while loop is while some expression, then statements. That is, while we need to write the condition here. Condition, expression or any value, then we can execute the statements. If the while loop continues like this, suppose if we are writing the condition, if the loop is true, okay, then some statements can be executed, right? And the loop continues. If the condition or the expression will become false, then the loop starts. This is how the while loop will works here, okay? Now, let us see one example of the while loop. Now, here I have taken like some count equals to 0 and started up to while less than 3. So my condition is the count should be less than 3. Okay, this will be my condition. If the condition is true, it will make the count as plus 1. Okay, if the condition will become false, it will stop. So until then, it will get the 1. That means my 0 will become plus 1, 1. Again the loop continues, then become 2. Again the loop continues, but here we said that it is less than 3. So the loop stops here and prints like hello Python. Okay, so this is how the while loop will work. At first, it will check the condition. If the condition is true, it enters into the loop and execute the statement. Once the condition will become false, the loop will terminate. Okay, now let us see something like using else statement with the while loop in Python. So suppose if condition is not true, then what should we do? We can do something by using the else statement. That is, suppose while some condition, the statement will execute and else some statements will execute. That means if we start the looping structure like this, the condition, at first we will check the condition or some expression. Then if the condition is true, we will execute these statements which are followed by the while loop. So here, if the condition is true, we will execute the while statements. That is the statements followed by while. If the condition is false, generally the loop stops. Before stopping the loop, we are using else, right? So else part will execute here. So the else statements can be executed. After that, the loop stops. But if the loop is true, it will continue. If the loop is true, it will continue. Later on, if the loop becomes false, then it will execute some statement and the loop will be terminated completely. Okay, this is how it works. Let us see the example as before. Here is said the example as we said the before. So 1, 2, it will execute the hello Python, else it will execute simply else statement and it stops. Okay, like this we can use the while loop and followed by the else statements also. Now, next, let us go for the next one, that is infinite loop. Infinite loop is nothing but sometimes we need to make some block of code to execute many number of times until the Python will do it. Okay. So here what the thing is, the condition here we counts as 0 and it will be prolong on until it will run along on when initializing the 0 and execute indefinitely if the condition is always true. Sometimes we get the concept like this. Let us see the example for this also. So here I said count is 0. I'm not incrementing, not doing anything. Until the count is 0, you need to print hello Python. This is called as infinite while loop. So as per the conditions or as per the requirements, we can use any while loop statement. But generally we go for the while else. That is a combination of while and the else statement. That will be enough to execute the while statements. Okay. Now let us go for the for loop. So the syntax for the for loop is for the iterator using the followed by the variable in sequence, and we can execute some statements here. Suppose if I take like n equals to 4 for I in range the 0 to n. So in the range here we can go for the initial value. And that means at what stage you need to start. We can go for the initial value. Here we can go for the final value. Okay. And we can print. So here we get the answer of 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. That is in range. Okay. Like this we use the for loop here. Suppose for example, this for loop can be followed by the tuples, strings and the dictionaries of iterations which are specially designed for the Python. So using looping statements in the Python, we can use the strings and dictionaries also. And we can use to iterate the lists, tuple, strings and dictionaries as the Python. So let us see. Suppose here I have given like list C and C++ success. This is my list. Okay. So these are nothing but this list are nothing but tuples. Even tuple equals to, for example, this is the list and here the tuples, suppose Java for object. There is the difference. Let us see the output how we'll get also. For the first statement, simply it will print like C, C++ and success. For the next statement, the combination of the strings, that is what we have made as a tuple. It's a collection of the tuples. Okay. It will print until the tuple will be there. And here, suppose if I take the strings, if you take the strings, S equals to Python, I need to print like Python until the string stops. Okay. So for I in S, okay, automatically it starts with the P and ends with the N. And if you take like dictionaries, if you take the dictionaries, we can print the combination of values, that is X value as 123 and Y value suppose 354. You need to print like this. For that also we can use here. But while printing the dictionaries, a special combination of format specifiers has to be used. These are called as format specifiers. For the strings, for the numbers, we can use this. Okay. A combination, that is the variable followed by this symbol is called as a format specifier. Suppose if you want to use as a sets, we can go for the set also. Here set 1, 2, 3, 4 up to it's there. So we can print like this. So for the for loop, not only the range, we can use all these things. That's what I said before. That is, we can use tuples, strings, dictionaries, iterations, everything in the Python. That is a special case of for loop in the Python. Okay. Now let us go for some more syntaxes of the for loop. The iteration by basing on the index sequences. Okay. So the index elements in the sequence are nothing but iterate. Here the idea is first calculate the length of the list and go for the sequence until that length continues. Here we first check the length. Suppose I have taken the list, objects, for and class. So the complete length here is index in the range of the length of this list. My list length equals to 3 and you have to print up to the index. Entire thing has to be printed. So like this, a for loop can also be used depending upon the length given by the user. Or taken by the objects, strings, or any list. Okay. So this concept is iterating on the index of sequences. Now next, we go for the another syntax of the for loop, that is a combination of else statement and the for loop. Okay. Here we also combine an else statement like while loop here. So once there is no condition for the for loop, which execution it terminates. Similarly, as we terminated the while loop, here also, if the loop stops, then it automatically terminates without executing anything. If you use the else loop, that is else combination, a loop can be executed even after it is false. Okay, let us see. Suppose this is the thing, idea for Python I have written. Suppose for the Python index, and we can use the else statement here, even we can write like print something, no list. Otherwise, we can write list stopped. Okay, else part. So if the condition is false, it will execute this else part and the loop terminates. Now, our next topic is nested loops in Python. So a Python can be more than one loop. We can use more than one loop in the Python, which is called as nested loops. Okay. Let us see the nested loops. Using one loop in the another loop is called as the nested loop. And the Python program will allows one loop in the another loop because it can be able to make and to store that in nested loops. First, let us see the syntax. These nested loops can be used in for or while. Okay. I'm explaining you in the for. So, for the iteration, that is the range in the sequence, and start the another for loop in the sequence, and we can execute these statements. Okay. That is, it enters into first for loop and execute the statements, and it will enter in the second for loop also. It will stop when two for loops will complete. If you are using the nested loop in the while, so while and another while, execute this statement. First statement belongs to the first for while, second statement belongs to the second one. Okay. Let us see one example here. Suppose I am printing the range in 1 to 5 until the range of I have to print it. So what is the first I value? I value is 1. It enters into the loop. J in 1. Okay. Print 1. That is 1. Next. And otherwise equals to. Again, it will go for the another one. That is, the loop continues and becomes 2. Here now, the I value is 2, but the J will be up to 2. So 1, 2 can be printed. Like this, a loop can be terminated in another loop also. Like this, we can get the nested loops in Python. Okay. Now let us go for the next concept, that is loop control statements. A loop control statements executes a normal sequence. When the execution level scope and automatically objects will be created and there are also destroyed. Suppose Python supports a control statements. That is, taking one string, we can continue the statement. If you want to break it, even we can break according to the statement. Suppose, for example, here, for the letter in success software, I have taken the string as success software. If the letter is E or letter is S, I need to continue. Okay. So, letter S is not there, C is not there, C is C. Here we got E. The letter is E. Then what it should print? Current letter. The current letter is E, comma, and the letter. Okay, that is current letter will be E. And it will continues again. Yes, S. Yes, S, S. Last we find the E. Then it will continue. Like this, a combination of break and continue. Even we can use for the break also. If we write the continue, at that level it terminates and continue for the next statement. But if you write the break, at that level it completely terminates. That is the difference. This is called as looping. That is controlling the loops on some statements. Okay. Now, a break statement brings here, that is, I said now, we can create on the base of control, continue or the break. If you write the break here, automatically when you get the letter E, it automatically breaks. Okay. But the continue will continue the statement again. That is a combination of break and continue. Simply, in a single word, I should say, a looping statement, that is either using a for statement or using the while statement with a combination of continue or break. Okay, then we can say as a loop control statements. That combination is called as loop control statements. Okay. So this is a loop control statements. Now let us see some more statements regarding the pass. So pass, even in the if also we use some pass statement. Okay. So pass means suppose instead of writing any empty loops, we can pass the control statements or functions or the classes. So for the pass statement, simply we use a keyword of pass. That is for the letter of here, a success software, it will pass until you will get the last letter. So instead of breaking it down, instead of saying that there is nothing to execute, we simply pass the statement. So a combination of looping statement and this pass can also be used here. So these are the looping statements with the pass statements.
Now we have seen the looping statement syntaxes, only syntaxes and the simple programs. Okay. Now we are discussing about the string functions, that is string modules in the Python. Once you get the string functions, we can calculate and we can do all the programmings regarding the strings also. So let me explain all the string functions.
Now let us learn some string modules in Python. That is some string functions which are predefined, and let us learn how can we execute these statements with some examples. The first statement is length. Okay. So it returns the length of a string. Suppose here I have taken the text as hello and print length of text. Like this you need to use. Okay. Print length of text. Instead of that, as it is a length, you can use in the another variable like x equals to length of text, and you can print x also. Even like this we can print. Okay. So the output is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the output will be 5. Now for the lower. Lower converts all the characters into a lowercase string. So here actually the first letter is capital, right? So but the output will be HELLO, that is small letter. You can know this one. Next is the upper. Upper will convert entire all characters into string into uppercase. It will convert all the characters. Okay, into uppercase. Here, the first letter, only the first letter is capital and rest of the other small. But if you use the hello, that is the upper, the output will be completely in the uppercase. Let me tell you one thing. As I am explaining only the examples here, so directly I have printed with the function. So everything I am writing like print, and directly here I am writing the module. Okay. So if you necessary, while writing the programmings, while execution of the programmings, if it is necessary, you can store into another variable and directly you can print that variables also. Okay. Like this we can do. But as it is a class, theory class, let me explain all the functions. So I have concentrated simply to know the modules. Okay. Now, next one is the strip. Strip will leaves or trace the white spaces from the string. If there is any white space, then it automatically removes that one. Okay. Replace means instead of some string, we need to replace. That is, we can replace the substring with the another substring. Suppose here I have written like hello world, and I am replacing instead of world, I need to write the Python. So hello Python is the output. Okay. Now, splitting the strings. Actually, here hello world is the complete string. So here we can split the string by specifying a character, that is separator. Here by default, it will take the space. So what is the string here? Hello world. There is a space. So we need to split into one is hello and next one is the word. So like this, we can split the strings also. By default, it will take the space. If specially you want to make it the separator, you can use the separator also. Okay. Next are the find. So find is the first occurrence of a substring which returns to its index. That is, it returns -1 if not found. If it returns 1 if it is found. So here I'm finding like hello world. In the hello world, I need to find the word of world. So where is the position? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th position we are getting the word. Okay, like this, the output will be 6. It provides only the location, or we can say position of the string what you needed. Okay. Next is the join. Join elements like a list into a single string with a specified separator. Here I am making the separator as space. So in the quotations I have given, in the strings I have given one space and I am joining the text. Join text. So hello world, there is a space here. Suppose you want to join with some specific character, you can write like print. Okay. In the double quotation, if you want to add like this and double quotation close, now join and text. Okay. Then you can join the text also. So how can we join here? By using hello, we are using the exclamatory mark and you will get as word. Like this, you can use this join concept. Next is starts with. It checks the string starts with a specific substring. That is, I want to check whether the string is starting with the hello. So text dot, my variable is the text dot start with the hello. Whether it is true or false. It will provide whether it is true or false. That's it. So like this, the start will work. Next, we are going with the ends with. As it starts with, here we can check with end with. Okay. Check if the string ends with a specific substring. So here I am checking whether the string is ending with world or not. So it will return back as true or false. Next, capitalize. So we can capitalize only the first string. Uppercase will convert entire string into upper. Lowercase will convert entire string into lower, right? But the capitalize the first character of the string and converts the rest into the lower case. That is, you will get the output like hello. Okay. Next, title. Title will capitalize each word in the string. That is important. So, text dot title I have given. Here, that is, of course, each word but separated by the space. So, text dot title I have given as a text. So, hello is there and the separator here is the space. After that, we get word, right? So, the H and the W will be capitalized. Next one is the is alpha. It checks whether the character is a alpha characters or not. And alpha characters are nothing but they are alphabetic. That is only letters are counted. If there are only letters, it will provide the value as true. It returns the value as true. Okay. And it is very important what it will return. That is also very important. In future, we take that return value and we can write some more things. Okay. The next one is the is digit. Is digit will checks all the characters of a strings are digits or not. Okay. See my text, all the characters are the digits. So we get the output as true. Next is space. It checks whether string contains white spaces or characters. Okay. If there are the spaces, then we will get the output as true. All these things, it returns as a true value or the false value. But while writing the programming, we just notify the true or false, and we will consider that one and we will write some more things. That is a combination of a programming. While true or false, the returning values depends upon the true or false values. Now, is upper. It checks whether a character is in the string is upper or not. If it is in the upper, the first character, then we will write the true. Is lower. It checks the character in the strings are in the lower case or not. And we get the true value. Next is Z-fill. Z-fill is nothing but a string with zeros at the beginning until it reaches for the specific length. That means at the starting when it is zeros or not, it is not there. But we need to fill with the zeros. So I have taken the text as 42, right? I am printing Z-fill. So Z-fill of 5. Entire thing we need to provide the 5 characters. Only 2 characters are filled with 4 and 2 and remaining characters are filled with zeros. And most importantly, the zeros will start from the beginning of the text. It is important. Now let us discuss all these looping structures, that is while loop and the for loop with some programmings also. Okay, so that you can understand better. I will explain some simple programs today. In the next class, we can discuss more programs regarding these concepts. Okay, let us write the programming.
Now let us start our first programming to find or to print a multiplication table for a given number. If you give one number, suppose if you have given 5, entire multiplication table has to be printed. Okay. If you give the number some 3, the multiplication table has to be printed. That is the concept here to write. So at first we need to input one value. So I am taking n equals to int of input, enter a number. Okay. So that here we can input one number and For that number, we will print our multiplication table. Okay. So simply just for the view, I'm writing like print in the double quotation. I'm writing the multiplication table, so that it will show the output of the multiplication table. Okay, the multiplication table for our given number. Our given number, whatever it is, the number will be in the n. So comma and n. Now let us start the loop. For this, here I am using the for loop. If you necessary and if you are able to write, you can go for the while loop also. So for I in range of 1 comma, what is the last value? For the multiplication table, generally it is 10, but it's less than 10, so we go for the 11, range of 1 comma 11. Now print, here I will print with the calculation. At first we have to print the I value, at first we have to print the n value because the number will be in the n. So n value comma into I, and then we write n into I, that is number into I. So here we have taken the variable as n. Okay, I will modify it again. Instead of number, I will write again n. Now we can go for number. So I'm writing n here because our variable name is n here. So I'm writing n. So n into I, that equals to n into I. Okay. Now let us execute. I'm repeating the shortcut for the execution. For the execution, the shortcut is Control plus F5. Okay. So that the Python program will run debug, and if it is error, there is one error. I think here I need to adjust with F so that we get the output perfectly. And the double quotation, I didn't written the double quotations properly, so I'm just adjusting there. I'm adjusted. Now again I will press like Control plus F5. See, enter a value. If I give the number, the particular number multiplication table will be printed here. I am giving the number 5 here. So we get the multiplication table of 5. Like this, we can print the multiplication table using for loop. Okay. Now let us write one more program. So program to print natural numbers. This time I will use while loop. Okay. Previously we have used for loop. So in this program, let us learn how can we write the while loop also. For that, to print the natural numbers, at first I will write the initial value I equals to 1 and the condition suppose I less than or equals to 10. So that I can print the values from 1 to 10. Okay. So print I as simple as it is and execute the program. And now one more thing, before closing that you should write I is equal to I plus 1 so that the value will increment. Then we can get the values, that is up to 1 to 10. Okay. See. Now this program can be improvised something like, suppose instead of fixing like that value like 10, we can input one value and up to the limit, whatever the user needs, up to that limit we can print the values also. So here I have taken like n equals to input the enter the number, that is enter the limit. Up to that limit we can get the value, and instead of writing 10 here we can fix n. So that the values can be printed from the 1 and up to the given value. Suppose now I am giving a number 20. Then we get the output like from 1 to 20 all the values like this. Okay. Now let us write one more programming using list, tuples, okay, iterations, everything. So here I will iterate each item of a list. Okay. Further, let me take the list of values first. The list of values, even that we can make many calculations and many modifications in that. Now see the program. Suppose here if I take a list of n equals to some numbers, randomly whatever number you want, you can take that number. Here not the important of the logic. Here the important is how can we use the list of in a programming. Okay. The variable list in a programming. So randomly I have taken some numbers like 12, 75, 150, 180, 145, 525, 50 and 30. For this, now let me write 3 conditions. I am writing 3 conditions using this list. Suppose for the item in number, that is our numbers n. Okay. Then we can go for, here my variable is n. So I have to write n. So for item in n, then if item is greater than 500, okay, if the item is greater than 500, then you can simply print the values, or we can make a break. Instead of printing the values, let us make some break, okay. Else if suppose item is greater than 150, then we write another one, a combination of continue. So here I will explain the combination of break and continue also. So break, continue. Now else, let me take one calculation here. So here suppose I want to check whether a number is divisible by 5. Okay. So I need to print the values which are divisible by 5. So else if I am writing like item modulus 5 equals to 0. Okay. Then we can print I, just for the calculation and just for understanding that the logic here, we can use a combination of break and continue and even some calculations in the list. So we get the output for this calculation here is, at first the number divisible by 5, there you have to write a break. Okay, if the greater than 500, we need to get a break. If greater than 50, the program has to continue. And if modulus 5, that is divisible by 5 equals to 0, then the item has to be printed, the value has to be printed. So let me run the program. See, this will be the output for this program. Now let us write one program using our string modules. Okay, here simply I am writing the program so that we can get first, middle and the last characters of a string. Let us take one string. Suppose directly I am initializing the string as success. Okay, here we need to get the first letter, middle letter and the last letter. For that, at first we have to take the string as an array. So I am initializing res equals to string of array, so that the first letter will be available, that is the first letter is assigned as a res, that is s. Now let us find the length of a string. So L equals to some length of a string, so that up to the end of a string we need to check every letter of a string. That is the concept here. So now we write like n equals to initialize, that is int L by 2. So that the string is divided into half. Then we get the middle string, correct? Next result, that is res equals to res plus the string of n. Then we get the end of the string. Now we can increase the string, that is we can make the uppercase of the strings and we can print the string. Now res equals to plus res string 1 of one minus string of r, not it is not a 1, L minus 1, that is length of a string, so that we can decrease the string and can get the first string. Now the new string, we print the new string so that we get the first letter as capital, middle letter as a capital, end letter is also as a capital, like this. So here the concept is just to, how can we get the first, last and the middle letters using some calculations of a string. Simply we find the length, that is at first we calculate the length. Depending upon the length, here we have found the strings of first, middle and the last to capitalize it. Okay, so this is the process. How can we use the string? Entire concept is not using like a string modules. Here entire concept is, so here the entire concept what we have done is, we get a string of first, the string of first, middle and the last, and the last characters initialized. That is the concept of this program. Now let us write one more programming on the basis of a string. Okay, so a string can be written by considering the string of each character. The strings of the each character can be taken on the basis of the array. So generally a string is nothing but a character with the arrays. So using the array, we can get each letter of a string. Okay. So here simply just for our sake, I am writing the original string is str1. So for the lower, I want to make the first string as a lower. So lower equals to j and upper is also equals to some subscript. Okay. So lower subscript and upper subscript. So that the each character of the string can be taken on the variable of the upper and lower. Now using the for loop, I am writing for char of string 1. That means considering the each character of the string. Okay. So char of in string and lower we can append another string. If it is a lower case, we will append another string. Append means adding another character at that space. And else upper append another string. Okay. We get append another string. Now we sort one value so that the characters, entire characters can, the what we have taken the string, we get a sorting order of the character of a string. So that I am taking a sorted order and join the value of the lower, and then we can join the value of the upper also. So lower plus upper. So that in the string which we have taken as a here, that can be printed in a sorting order. So the result will be in the sorting order. See, so result, and the result will be at the sorted underscore string, which is the sorted order of the all characters which we have taken the string. The sorted order of the string can be printed here. So like this we get a sorted order of the strings. The main thing what I want to mean to say is, by taking the string and by taking the characters, we can create many more programs here. So taking the complete string instead and taking the each and each character of the string is also important while considering that one. If I make capital S and capital S also, at first I have started with the lower case. Now I am starting with the upper case. So it will changes regarding the lower and upper cases also. That you have to observe here. Previously we got lower case at first and upper next, but now we can get upper first and the lower next. So like this we can use all the string functions. Now let me explain the last program for this session just to understand how can the loops will work. So I have taken a program to product of the digits of a given number. That means if you give one number, suppose 245, it gives the product of the digit 2 into 4 and 4 into 5 like that. Okay. So further we start the initial value and we take one value. So for which value we need to get the product of the digit. So num equals to int of input, enter a number. Now here we can enter one number and let's start the while loop. Okay, while n, that is our num, not equals to 0. Up to that, this loop has to work. Okay. Now see, start the value. At first, we find the remainder of the number, that is modulus of a number. If you take the value of 235, the modulus of the 10, then the remainder is 5. With the 5, we multiply the number. Because here we are finding the product, so we multiply the number. And finally we write num equals to num by 10. Num by 10 will give the quotient value. Suppose if we have taken the value of 245, modulus will be 5 and num by 10 the value will be 24. Again the loop repeats. Okay, loop repeats. Now we get the value of 4 because now the value of num is 24. So we get the value of 4. Next again repeats the value, then we get the value of 2. Like that every time for the loop repeats, then we get a value separately. Okay. The individual value and that individual value is multiplied with the previous value, that is p. Like that we get the product of the digit. Okay. Now here num modulus 10. Again see, if I give one number, suppose 245, then we get the product of the numbers. Here the important is how can we get the individual value. So the logic is by creating a modulus and by creating the number. Like this we can use the while also.
So this is the class all about today. We discussed for loop, while loop and some string modules. Okay. We have written some programs also on that and use this to learn the looping structures. First, let's get the idea about the looping statements. After that, we can write the programming better. So this is all about the class today. Thank you.
This is the class about today. We discussed about the while loop, we discussed about the for loop and some string functions and a simple programming. In the next class, completely our class will be regarding the programming skills up to what we have discussed. The basic structures, if statement, looping statement, while loops and the string statement. Okay. Here the concept, what I mean to say is, you can find the concept anywhere, but the skills to write the programming is very important. So don't miss the class of the programming skills. Okay. That is the next class. Okay. Now I hope you learned something from this video. If you learned something from this video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.